Hi everyone, happy December. It's Kajora Lovely doing a general reading for the month of December 2018. This is a reading for the collective, what's happening to everyone on a collective level. And then I'm going to be doing individual readings for every sign for the month of December. And once those are up, I'll post those in the description box below. But I just wanted to start out with a collective reading because I noticed when doing all of your November readings that a lot of similar messages coming up, similar cards. So I'm going to start off with this and then see how it correlates to what's happening to you guys individually and the readings for each sign. So keep in mind, it is a general reading, so it may not resonate entirely with everyone. There'll probably be some aspects that might relate to you or someone you know. And also, sometimes I do burp. I'm just channeling, and I swear sometimes. Not the whole time, but it does come out. So, for December 2018, it looks like some of you might be dealing with a water sign. Possibly Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Possibly male, not necessarily. But it is upright, so it could be somebody that you're dealing with who is emotionally mature, emotionally stable, in charge of their emotions, basically. This could be someone you're dealing with in this present moment. Sometimes I read this card, too, as a romantic partner. So it could also have to do with relationships because right here we've got the Two of Cups in reverse. So, for some of you, I feel like this is a theme that also showed up in some of the November readings. So it could be that some of you are still dealing with this. And this is relationships that are not symbiotic. And what I mean by that is you're not filling each other up. You know, someone's giving more than the other. And it's certainly been a theme lately. I think a lot of people have realized that they're putting a lot of energy into relationships that could be toxic or unhealthy. That it's something where you're giving more than you're receiving. And relationships have to be an even give and take energy-wise. And it looks like for some of you when it comes to those relationships, and that could be romantic, familial, friendship, business, however it applies. It looks like with the Hangman here, you might have to be in a situation for a while where an answer may not reveal itself right away. It may not show itself. So you actually may need to shift your perspective to figure out what is the best course of action moving forward. Okay. And then with the Knight of Cups in reverse, this is influencing you guys right now. This could also be potentially another water sign that you're dealing with, maybe someone a little bit more mature. The King is usually someone who's worked up to their position. The Knight is someone who is the equivalent of an apprentice or somebody, maybe in their early 30s, that sort of thing. But it could also just be someone who's emotionally immature. But this can also relate to not receiving good news. Because usually I see the Knight of Cups upright as bringing good news when it comes to relationships or anything dealing with emotions, because that's what the cups relate to. So it could also be that there's something not coming or it's taking its sweet time, which you may not like. But it looks like there is a victory in the works for you. And I'm feeling for some of you, you're going to have a pursuit of a spiritual endeavor. Whatever that means for you. But usually with the two plants here, I don't remember the names of them exactly. One represents knowledge and intellect. The other one represents spirituality. I always feel like I can resemble both. Why not? They can go hand in hand. So it could be that some of you are deciding where you want to go next on your spiritual path. It seems like that'll be a big influence for some of you. Now, you have the Aces of Pentacles here. So you have two aces here, which mean that you've also got new beginnings, because the aces are beginning of their suits. So, it could also be, for those of you who are expecting children, this can be air signs, this can be earth signs. Possible, not necessarily. But with the Ace of Pentacles, this can also mean a new home, a new business prospect or opportunity. The Pentacles relate to, they're the earth element, so they relate to home and finances. in business. So whatever it is, it's something that I feel you guys are excited about because you've got the Knight of Swords here. So you're going to be going full throttle. With this, I always see it as you don't care if there's an army behind you. You're going in. You're excited. So whatever it is, it looks like it's something you've been waiting for or something you've been building towards, something that you really want in your life. So you're going for it. And it looks like some of you actually have, some success coming in. So with the Sun card, this is about success, recognition. Whenever I look at this card, I just always see the naked baby on a horse waving a flag. And I always feel like it's going, yay! So it always feels like a celebratory card. It's good news. So whatever it is that I feel like this applies to something else because the business is still in its infancy in a way. This is sort of a baby card with the Ace of Pentacles. But this is still recognition, success, notoriety. It could be that people will be giving you praise for something at work, or you'll be getting some sort of recognition, maybe an award for some of you. And I feel like for some of you, that's going to relate to teamwork. So I feel like for a lot of you, it is business. Because the Three of Pentacles is usually about building something that lasts beyond you. Building something that has staying power, something that you really care about, something that means something to you. And also potentially working with someone who wears some dapper threads. I mean, look at that medieval chic look right there. But also I feel like there's some planning involved for some of you. Because with this one, for some reason I'm hearing architect. So it could also be building something moving forward. Maybe being the architect of your own. For some reason, I'm hearing architect of your own design, architect of something you want to build. So then you've got the Queen of Wands. Now, this came up in pretty much almost every reading for the month of November. So this is still something that's influencing you guys, which I find very interesting. Now, usually I read this card as relating to harnessing your feminine creative power. And that can relate to all genders. It's not gender specific. So I feel like there are probably, for those that this applies to, you're trying to figure out where you want to go next. And you really want to harness your creative power and move something forward. So let's get some clarification on that one. For some reason, also, the cat looks kind of scary. Okay. Well, for some of you, the Four of Swords, there could be a rest period when it comes to your creative abilities and what's going on there. Let's see. So this could also relate to fire signs because this is the card for Leo. And the Queen of Wands also relates to fire element, action, communication. So this could also be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius that you're dealing with, possibly female, but not necessarily. And if it is, then you have the influence of rest. I feel like knowing when to pick up your sword and fight again, and when to use some subtle strength. Okay. Well, for clarification, we've got the Lovers in reverse. What I'm actually feeling with this card is that this has to do with feeling a lack of inspiration for some of you. A lack of drive, a lack of desire is what I'm hearing. So this can also relate to a Gemini, though. The Lovers card can. This also is about making a decision. So it could be that you're not making a decision, or you feel like a decision has been made. Maybe some of you are feeling like you're cast out of the Eden of your dreams, desires, and manifestations. Because that's also what this card is about. It's Adam and Eve before they were kicked out of paradise. It's about realizing things as well, making a decision. So it looks like some of you may need to drop a burden. What is that related to? Okay. So usually with the Ten of Wands, I see this as something that's blocking your view, right? It's something that is weighing you down. I mean, look at this dude. Where is he going? He can't even see where he's going. So I feel like it's important to think about what is it that's blocking you? What is it that's keeping you from seeing the truth, seeing where you want to go, seeing your own reality? And when this comes in reverse, I feel like it's that you're ready to drop it. You're ready to let it go. And seriously, what's holding you back? I know it sounds easier in a reading, and sometimes, you know, in-person readings, people will resist that because they think, oh, well, I can't let go of this. I'm supposed to do this, or I can't let go of this person, or whatever. You know, we can all come up with a million excuses, but at the same time, it's like, what isn't serving you? What is serving you? What can you cut out of your life? What isn't going to serve you moving forward? And, you know, it's a minor influence, this thing, but I feel like what I'm hearing is it's important for your survival. And, you know, when it comes to the actual cutting out, I feel like this is some guidance there, because the Strength card is usually about some subtle influence, because she's not using her force to close the lion's mouth. And, you know, the interesting thing about this card is that it's a woman. And she's using sort of her feminine wiles, her feminine abilities to close the lion's mouth and show that she has more fortitude than the force of a lion. And in order to get it to close its mouth, she doesn't have to wrestle it down and shove its mouth. She can just sort of coax it, pet the underside of its, you know, pet under its chin, and get it to do what she wants. So I feel like it's also figuring out how to coax the situation to get the best possible outcome, to get what you really want out of this. And maybe even using gentle will or force to remove the people or situation from your life that's no longer serving you. Because it's time to fire up your ambition. That's usually how I read the Knight of Wands. You know, this is about action, movement, forward movement, getting things going. So we've gone from the Queen of Wands to the Knight of Wands. These are very similar. You know, he comes right before her. And in a series of minor arcana. So it's building toward the Queen of Wands. I feel like for those of you who have been feeling creatively stuck, like you're not in your Queen of Wands power, this is what you need to harness first. This is the building block toward the Queen of Wands. You need to fire up your ambition, your desire. What is it that you really want? What do you want to chase after? What are you hungry for? You know, what is it that really gets your internal fires going when it comes to making something happen, to building toward what you want? So, Moon in reverse also showed up a lot in November. So that means it's still influencing a lot of people. Which makes sense. The Moon is a card, it doesn't fuck around. The Moon is about going inward and doing some serious spiritual work, some serious like shadow work and healing, some deep thought and introspection. You know, this is a deep card, and that's why some of the imagery is a little intense. So this is also about kind of like harnessing your tame side and your wild side. It's a wolf and a dog barking at the moon. And again, I'm hearing your inner desires. So I think it's also a way of recognizing if there are some of you who are trying to suppress your innermost desires, they're going to come out. I don't know why this is the phrase I'm hearing, by hook or by crook. Got some old-timey spirit guides whispering in my ear. And I don't know why they're saying this, because the mountains in the background are blue. They're saying find your own blue mountains. Not like, you go find your own, but like, find your own. What is that for you? I always see blue as like a kind of pure innocent color. But it can also relate to water and emotions. So something that is, let's see, mountains, I would see as strength. So a force of emotional strength and power for you. That's how I would interpret that message. Unless it means something else. You know, blue mountains also exist in Eastern Australia. So for those of you who live near the Blue Mountains, maybe it's worth going for a hike. But I feel like it's really about your journey inward, you know, with the path leading from the water inland. I feel like for some of you, maybe you've been resisting that, because this came up in reverse. So this could be that you're not going for it. You're not searching inward. You're not doing this internal work. and you probably know you need to, or you've been resisting it for a while and you've been thinking, oh, I don't really want to do that. It sounds like so much work. It sounds like a pain, whatever. It could be very similar to the excuses that you've had for not dropping something, you know? So then the question becomes, what I'm hearing is, do you want to move forward? Do you want to move forward with your life? Because if you keep doing the same thing, keep processing things the same way, you're probably not going to get the outcome that you want. So I feel like this is also challenging your fears. That's what I'm hearing. And I feel like that comes especially when it comes to money. And man, they are just hitting you guys in the gut with this one. Okay. Because the Four of Pentacles is about feeling like there's not enough a lot of the time. It's trying to make a strong financial base, but at the same time, when it comes to money, especially in our capitalist society today, it often feels like no amount of money is ever enough. That nothing is ever enough until you are a multi-millionaire or a billionaire. You know, that you can reach for the stars, but why not reach higher? And so it might feel like the goalposts are always moving, which can be really frustrating. And so I feel like it's important to know what your limits are, I'm hearing. Something's going on outside. Sorry about the sirens and stuff. It feels like, yeah, a lot of you are feeling really frustrated when it comes to finances. So I feel like part of this too is moving past a mindset of lack, feeling like there's never enough. So if you guys are feeling frustrated when it comes to money, especially with the holidays coming up, well, first of all, I'm hearing be realistic, you know, when it comes to money spending this month. But also figure out what's realistic as far as what is your baseline? What is enough? What is enough savings that you would feel comfortable with? What can you realistically make? What can you realistically save? You know, however that looks for you. Because you will be working toward this. This is, for most people's goal. So I would say, at least for the individual, the Nine of Pentacles is. Because this is about someone who is financially successful and stable, who is not only able to afford nice things and have a nice house and property, but she gets to spend time in it. She actually gets to enjoy it. You know, it's not a matter of working so much that she just gets home at night, goes to sleep, and then goes to work the next day and is busy all weekend. You know, this is about having time to spend in the space that you are working for and being able to have a bird of prey, you know, to be able to have a nice garden, be able to wear clothes that make you feel good about yourself. And so I feel that for some of you also, this is about finding your own form of self-sufficiency. That maybe it's not going to look exactly how you thought it would. But I feel like for some of you, being realistic about what it does look like. And how it is possible. Because what I've noticed, especially in my readings, is that a lot of people are realizing that if they work themselves to the bone, and they see this with other people, a lot of people will get really sick. And you don't necessarily always have time to enjoy it or feel like you're getting everything that you want out of life, which of course is the goal, right? And so I feel like, what is it realistically where you can save up money, where you can support yourself, you're able to pay off any debt that you have, you know, I think, and also what's satisfying for you in your life purpose, your life goals, the things that you want for yourself. And, you know, for all of us, I think there's that moving out of mindset of lack. It's a really hard one to get over. It's not easy. Not by a long shot. So, let's see what these last messages are for you guys. Whew. Got some swords in here. Okay. Okay. So, get out of the thing that's making you feel stuck. You know, this card I often feel is like you can get yourself out of a situation. It's a minor arcana card. So this isn't like the devil. It's kind of similar card. but it's different. This is about something that makes you feel trapped or stuck, but it's totally manageable. It could also be in this particular situation, you could be dealing with a female, or not necessarily, but an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. So it's possible. And it could be someone who is cunning, who's ruthless, conniving, bitchy, condescending. Those are all the words I'm hearing. So because it's in reverse, this is someone who may not have the best intentions, someone who may not necessarily be kind. Flip side, another meaning could be some of you are not cutting something out of your life. You're not taking charge for yourself, because this could also, you know, the court cards can also apply to you. So however this applies. So it could also be, I feel like for some of you, someone spirit guide or gods and goddesses telling you, be a little bit more cutthroat. Look out for yourself, because there is some heartbreak that you're working through or dealing with. This one's also been coming up a lot. So I feel like it's also mending a heartbreak, getting over a heartbreak, and that could be related to an Aries possibly, or someone who's, I'm hearing curmudgeon, someone who's an old curmudgeon. So I feel like this could be a father figure, a boss, an uncle, or a parent in general. Because usually the Emperor is about someone who's fought really hard for their position, and they kind of don't care if they scorch the earth on their way up. You know, it's very different from this energy. Because this is earth. This is very much like, I want beauty, I want light, I want to have nice things around me, I want to have pretty things, I want to feel good about myself. This is like scorched earth, motherfucker. I am in charge. You see that leg armor? I don't mess around. I've seen battle. Like, the Emperor is someone who has literally burned the earth to get to his position. So he wants that throne. And I feel like it could be that some of you have been experiencing some heartache, maybe some distrust, some disloyalty in relation to this person. Again, it could be an Aries, but not necessarily. It could just be someone who's really hot-headed. But I feel like what I'm hearing is, don't let this person get the better of you. Don't let them make you feel like you're at a disadvantage for any reason. And don't let them make themselves seem better than you. Because, you know, you don't deserve that. So it looks like some of you might be making a decision, and this has also been coming up so much lately. I feel like all the deceptive people are being fleshed out in everyone's lives right now with the Seven of Swords in reverse. You know, this is, I think, about, as I always read this as, it's a thief, right? It's someone who's taking the swords away. So who is stealing things from your life? Who is stealing your joy? Who's stealing your time, your energy, your money, your finances? I don't know why they want me to say that. They're making the red boots stand out, so they're asking me to say, who is it who's wearing the red boots? Reminds me of an SNL sketch. If you've seen it, please comment, because I love that one. Not my red boots, but anyway, Ace of Wands in reverse. So this could also be a project that's not starting, because this is your third ace, but it's in reverse. So this can mean a couple things. A project that's not starting. And it could be because of this person who's deceptive, potentially. It could be because, God, I'm hearing liar. There's someone who's like, liar, thief! And, oh man, they really want you to focus on nailing whoever the deceiver is, on figuring out who that deceptive person is and nailing them to the wall, you know, and taking them to task for what they've done to you. Man, somebody's been wronged, and your angels or spirit guides are not happy about it. So if they're saying that, well, okay, that message is coming in love and light. So I feel that if you feel like it's appropriate, and you can also meditate on this if you want to, for those of you that this applies to, if there's someone who has been this deceptive person, you might have to call them out. That might be part of your karmic connection. As much as it sounds like that might suck, I feel like you're kind of meant to do that. You're meant to I'm hearing, nail them on the wall like a butterfly and trap them there for all eternity. That sounds dramatic. Because I feel like they're blocking your joy. And so I think it's important in a way for you to take your power back and to call them on it, take them to task and tell them, you did this to me. It's fucked up. It's not okay. You don't get to do that shit to me anymore. And I feel like, yeah, for some of you, you're really meant to call this person out. Maybe for some of you, even publicly. And I am not one to, say you need to publicly shame or humiliate somebody. But you know what? We never really know what is meant for us on our karmic journey or meant for another person. What helps move them on their path, what helps us move on our path, whether it's a mistake that you're going to learn from later or it's a mistake they have to learn from now. I feel like if it applies to you, you feel like this resonates, I'm telling you something you've been wanting to hear for a really long time, amazing. If there are those of you who are like, I don't really think that would help anything, I think that would cause a big scene and I'd probably be living in handcuffs. For some of you, a body bag. But if it doesn't apply, then don't do it. But I think it's also, in that case, finding the best possible resolution to that scenario. And, you can pray on that. You can meditate on it. They're kind of the same thing. It's asking for guidance and assistance from your spirits, your angels, your higher power. And I just ask that those messages come in love and light and for your highest good and for the highest good of those involved. Because if you say that and then you're told, no, you still need to nail them to the wall, then that's what you need to do. So I would say go with the guidance you're receiving on that one. And if you want to, talk to a spiritual counselor, talk to whoever is in your faith about it. Because don't just take my word for it, because I don't know your life. I don't know your situation, and everyone's situation will vary. But I feel like a lot of it, I'm hearing purge the toxins. A lot of us are having to purge the toxins from our life, including toxic people. And we'll have to purge the toxic people that are the toxins in our body. Someone's being repetitive. And FYI, if I don't say the message out loud, they just keep repeating it in my head. Okay, so back to this. Ace of Wands in reverse. For some of you, there could be a potential project that could be moving forward, but it's being delayed. Let's see. For those of you that have a project, will it be coming to fruition? It's your decision. It's up to you. The Two of Swords is sometimes about being at a stalemate, at a sort of crossroads. For those of you that work with the Orishas or the 7 African powers, I would say to petition Elegua, or Papa Legba, however you refer to him, because he is the keeper of the crossroads and can help you see which way. Otherwise, also prayer, meditation. So, for clarification, the Devil card, I would say what is the least binding? What doesn't make you feel trapped? What doesn't fill your stomach with dread? What doesn't make you feel stuck, ignored, impatient, angry, like you're going to have an outburst? So I feel like it's really going the more peaceful path, because with this card, you also got the Star. Now, this can also relate to an Aquarius. But this card I always see as having hope. It's about seeing the light in the dark. So literally coming out of the Devil's rapture and seeing what's possible, seeing what you're capable of. I feel like being emotionally vulnerable to yourself and to others when you feel like it. So when you feel capable, open, and ready, opening yourself to others in such a way that it doesn't make you feel manipulated. Yeah. And then you can move forward. That's what they're saying. So it could also be that whatever the decision is, there might be some other players that you need to talk to, and make yourself emotionally available. So I feel like that's where that applies. And of course, this card just fell out of the deck. So, Judgment in reverse. This has also been a big theme lately. Spiritual themes are really big for everyone right now. So, Judgment is usually about a realization or an epiphany, an awakening of some sort. It's literally the my friend calls this the dead baby card. It's the dead coming back to life. But it's really about that awakening, that realization. I would say awakening in some ways would be a better name for this card than Judgment, but it's about Judgment Day. So I feel like for some of you, there's a spiritual awakening that's possible, a realization that's possible, realizing something about yourself. You may not want to go inward to figure out what that is. I feel like for some of you, it might have to do with family issues, or feelings of lack of emotional satisfaction, feeling like you're not having action and communication come forward, but starting a new journey. So, we're ending with a beginning. So, with the Fool card, this is about starting a new chapter in your life. I'm hearing a new resolution. So, I feel like with December, we're starting a new year at the end of this month. So I feel like it's also thinking about how you want to wrap up the year, what you want to leave behind, what you want to let go of, and how you want to move forward. What is it you want to take with you? What is it that you don't? And as you can see with the Fool, he carries light. He's got a small bag and his dog and a flower, and he's ready to roll. So, whatever that is for you that you want to take with you, you can always leave the rest behind. It doesn't all have to come with you. Anyway, I hope that's helpful to you guys, and I wish you a wonderful December.